This is the exact step-by-step process that you need to follow to crack $10,000 plus in profit per month. This is a system that you can start from zero, or if you're doing a few $1,000s, and literally infinitely scale any supplier relationship. This video is gonna be quite long, so stick around, watch it all the way through, especially if you're someone that wants to grow a profitable Amazon business. For anyone that's new here, my name is Paul. I've been selling on Amazon for the past 6 years. I've done over $20 million plus in lifetime sales. And now I have the pleasure to teach other people like yourself how to grow a successful Amazon wholesale business. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. $10,000 a month is always like the first goal for any business to crack. Breaking your first 10K is probably the hardest. And then once you do that, everything becomes a little bit easier. So the first thing that we need to do is build a pipeline of suppliers to contact. The bare minimum is 100, whether that is brands or distributors. Like the absolute bare minimum. If you do anything less than 100, I can almost guarantee that you're not going to see success on Amazon. And if you just find 100 and then you say, oh, well, I'm good, it's one of those things where we want to put in more effort into our business. Now, the biggest thing is that we need to create runway, meaning that we need to factor in suppliers saying no, suppliers sucking, sales reps that suck, whatever it might be. We need to factor in some portion of who we contact that is going to just be diminishing returns. The expectation is to try to find as many suppliers as possible to give yourself the opportunity to get access to good products to resell on Amazon. First thing we're going to go over is going to be the email script that I would recommend to use. Now, you can replace some of your information here. You can just copy it or you can tweak it to whatever you like. One of the biggest problems that people face when they start sending out emails is that how they structure their email is incredibly unprofessional. When it comes to wholesale, you are operating a real business. Like, this is not a get rich quick scheme. This is not where you just start selling on Amazon, you start making 10 grand in profit next month. This is hard work. This is a real fucking business. You need to treat it like a real business. You need to treat other people with respect. You're contacting people that this is their career. They might have been working at a corporate company for the past 20 years. They don't want to get a bullshit email from someone that doesn't care. You need to position yourself as someone that cares and that is an authority in this space. Now, this is exactly how you're going to be able to do that. What we need to focus on is keeping our emails short and simple. It's not about trying to explain the world. It's being direct without sounding rude. Hello, my name is Paul from XYZ company. We're interested in establishing a wholesale account with your company. Straight to the point of why we're contacting them. Could you please send us your credit application at the earliest convenience? We look forward to working with you. Now, we also ask them for something that we know that we need to open up a wholesale account, which is a credit application. Every single authorized distributor or brand is going to send you a credit application. Them asking for your resume in the industry to vet you. That is something that we should be asking for. That way they're like, okay, this person knows the deal. And then also you can see below, I stated trade references and then about us. I immediately show them that, hey, I'm contacting you and I'm already in this space and I have somewhere to ship inventory to and I can receive trailers and I have been in business for X amount of time and I can purchase X amount. Very straight to the point of why I'm contacting them and the benefit that they're going to get from responding. Whereas a lot of people that go and they send out these emails, like there's no benefit for someone to respond to it. They can instantly tell that you're newer to selling on Amazon. And to be honest with you, a lot of people don't want to work with like noobs. You know, they want to work with people that understand what they're doing because at the end of the day, it costs money. Time is money. Now you might be asking, well, Paul, I don't have a warehouse address or can't accept tractor trailers or I don't have any trade references. Open up wholesale accounts that are easy. Winers Ltd, Buy Low Beauty, KHE Distributors, Frontier Co-op. Go open up a few wholesale accounts and use those names as leverage, even if you've been in it for 30 days. Show some type of track record. When you're approaching these companies, they'll at least look at your email. Now, the second thing is with the warehouse address and 53-foot trailers, open up a prep center. Start using a prep center. Leverage their address. They have a commercial address where they're receiving inventory. Use their address as a vehicle, once again, as leverage to position yourself as someone that can receive trucks because distributors ship out products on trucks. There's nothing wrong with residential deliveries, but you can always pivot to that address once you open the account. Focus right now on getting the account by them responding to start creating a conversation. So whatever will trigger that thought of saying, okay, well, this person's going to spend $20,000 a month. They can receive trucks. They've been in business. They have some solid references. They're straight to the point. This seems like a qualified customer. They're going to respond to you. The next thing is going to be our phone conversation. A lot of people, when they get on the phone, they're not speaking confident enough. Right now on this video, I'm speaking with conviction. Why? Because I do this every fucking day. I'm in the weeds growing and scaling my Amazon business. I make phone calls. I do these things. So what I'm sharing with you is literally what I do in my business and what I know that works to this day in 2025 and going on. You need to be short and just simple, straight to the point. Hey, my name is Paul from from XYZ company. I'm interested in becoming a wholesale customer of KE Distributors. That's it. Just let them speak. The first person that you're contacting is a customer service person. Their job is to just simply transfer you to another extension or to a different person or to give you direction. They're getting phone calls all day long, straight to the point. This is not the person that you need to convince, right? The person you need to convince is going to be past that gate. They might transfer us to like a sales rep or a sales manager or someone that has a little bit more authority. Once they make that transfer, the conversation is exactly the same. Hey, this is Paul from XYZ company. I'm interested to become a wholesale customer of KE Distributors. Then let them speak. Oh yeah, Paul, that's great. Thanks for contacting us. By any chance, what do you do in your business? Our company, we're an e-commerce business. We've been in business for the past 6 years. We have a website that we sell through, as well as we also sell on Amazon. Oh, well, at this time, Paul, we're not really accepting new e-commerce businesses or Amazon resellers. So I don't know if we're able to open the account at this point. Yeah, John, I completely understand that you're not accepting new e-commerce businesses. And just out of curiosity, is there any specific reason why you're not accepting e-commerce businesses? A lot of brands that we work with and vendors, they contact us and they say, are you selling to this Amazon seller? And they're selling products you're not supposed to be. And it just kind of tarnishes our relationships with our vendors. You're going to lean into what they're saying, right? You're going to agree with them. I completely understand that at this moment, you're not looking to open up new Amazon sellers, but we're currently buying from KE and they have a list of restricted brands that we're not able to sell. Is there any chance that you can just tell us what brands that we're not able to sell? Because a lot of our suppliers that we have access to today, that we have phenomenal relationships with, originally they told us the same thing. We were able to make the relationship work. Oh, well, a lot of the brands that we sell, they have MAP, and like Amazon sellers don't follow MAP. Well, please just let us know whatever products or brands that have MAP policies. We either won't sell them online or we will sign any MAP policies to adhere to those MAP pricing, right? Try to just agree with what they're saying and almost position yourself as saying that I hate Amazon sellers too. That is like the same wavelength, is understand what they're saying. Prioritizing that we're not the main thing. We're the side chick. That is the mentality of being an Amazon seller. For distributors, we're on the back burner until you establish a relationship and things will change. And then all of a sudden you'll become a top tier customer because you're spending more money than 15 other brick and mortars together. Going back to what I was saying was positioning yourself as an industry expert. We need to speak to people with confidence, okay? We cannot speak to distributors, sales reps as noobs. Now, one of the best ways to overcome this fear of calling or sending out emails is by calling distributors that you feel like are unqualified. A lot of people will go and they'll try to call the best distributors first, when in reality, you want to do it backwards. You want to fail on the suppliers that you could give a shit about. You don't care whether they deny you. You already know that they suck. Burn it. Call them. Get denied. Get accepted. Practice on those conversations and do it consistently. Find the 100 suppliers or 200 suppliers or whatever that quantity is, and then dial all of them. Don't find a supplier and then call one, and then find a supplier and then call one. You need to do it all in bulk so you get into a rhythm and you get more confident. Like I said, use a burner for a few suppliers that just suck, and then call them when you're prepared, when you feel confident, when you've had 10 calls in the day and you're like, you know what? I'm ready to go. I'm fired up. I've had great conversations. My objection handling are getting better and better and better. Now let's go after the big dog. That's the time to call them when you feel confident. This is just the beginning. We're going to get deep into this shit. You guys are going to get fired up and you guys are going to print money from this video. We're either going to leave to a win or a loss. Based on numbers that I've seen in my business, for every 100 companies that I contact, around 20% of them will open up wholesale accounts. Now for brands, that will be a smaller percentage, but for distributors, it will be around 20 to 30%. The biggest thing is creating a follow-up period and actually creating a paper trail. So what happens with a lot of sellers is that they'll call, they'll get denied, and then they'll just be like, damn, well, I got denied. Well, I guess I'll call them back one day. No, you need to have structure in your business. You need to have a system. Ask them, when is the next time that I should follow up? Oh, yeah, Paul, you can follow back up in 90 days. That's when we'll maybe be reconsidering opening up new e-commerce accounts. John, that's perfect. Thanks for letting me know. By any chance, do you have an email that I can grab just so I can stay in contact with you? Yeah, so my email is john@khedistributors.com. Then what you do is you go create an email and you tag John in the email, and you Create that paper trail of saying, John, it was a pleasure speaking to you about opening up a wholesale account. We understand at this time that you're not accepting new e-commerce businesses, and we'll follow back up in 90 days. And then all of a sudden 90 days comes back. And then what do? You follow up on the email thread. Why? Because you have a paper trail. You're not the only person that's calling this distributor. They're getting calls nonstop. So if they actually do end up opening up new wholesale accounts, who are they going to open? The person that is following up, that called them 3 months ago, right? Or 6 months ago or a year ago, that there's proof that this customer has been trying to become a customer for periods of time. That's how you're going to get accepted, is by having a streamlined follow-up process. And a lot of distributors that are really good, or brands that are really good, will deny you initially. When there's more barrier, there's more profit. That is something that you always want to know. You can't let a no deter you. You should use that as fire, that there's opportunity, that you just found opportunity in your business, because I promise you, every single distributor or brand with barrier means it is profitable. It is worth going after. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. And if you want to get coached by me one-on-one directly with my phone number, where we'll hop on coaching calls, we'll source through products, find profitable suppliers, train virtual assistants, do everything that we need to do to help you build a profitable Amazon wholesale business, click the link down below to book a call with my team. We need to now disqualify some of them, right? Some of them might suck. Some of them might be red flags. Some of them might not be good for account health. We need to understand as entrepreneurs and business owners that there's offense, there's defense. Offense is making money, driving revenue, all the cool stuff. But if you don't got no defense, you're screwed. Because what happens when your account goes down, or you buy from a shitty supplier or whatever because you're trying to chase a quick bag and it just fucks you over? Mentality that we need to have as business owners, knowing when to say no to opportunities. So one of the easiest ways to tell when a distributor is a red flag is when they're providing you with ASINs, meaning that they're giving you the product listing on Amazon to sell on. Any distributor that's worth having, they cater towards traditional brick and mortar. Think about Walmart, Target, your local grocery store, pet store, Home Depot. They're buying it from somewhere, whether that's from the manufacturer, the brand, or a distributor. But those are the companies that we want to target. For example, all the products in Whole Foods, they all come from UNFI, United Natural Foods. That is an authorized distributor. They're a $1 billion company. That is the type of company that you want to contact. Authorized distributors that their invoices work, number one, and number two, they will protect you. If a brand wants to come after you for whatever reason, you got an invoice to show, and I promise you that they're selling inventory to UNFI. Another thing too is when pricing is too good to be true, or their communication sucks. They're communicating through Telegram, WhatsApp, Discord. Think about traditional business communication. It happens on email and phone. If it's off of email or phone, stay away. It's not worth it. It's not worth risking your business. It's not worth risking your money. And I'm here to help you not only make money, but to save time and minimize mistakes, right? That's why I'm making videos like this, is to help other people just go down a path that is legit, because I'm not trying to sell you a dream. I want to provide you with real information that help me grow my business so you can implement the same thing to build a successful business on Amazon. Now that we opened up a few wholesale accounts, one of the biggest mistakes that sellers make is that once they open the wholesale account, they don't contact the distributor. They don't contact the sales rep. They'll just receive the file, they'll throw it into a software like third-party profits, and they start sourcing through items without any point of contact. You open that wholesale account, you pick up that fucking phone and you call your sales rep and you say, John, I can't wait to work with you. I'm so excited. Like, tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, do you have any kids? Where do you live? Like, build a personable relationship. Hey, John, by the way, we're the new customer that just got accepted. Super excited to do some business with you. Our goal is to get to, $20,000 in monthly purchases. If there's anything that we can do to help that, to make that happen, just please let us know. Like, try to start that initial conversation. Well, I mean, think about it. Imagine you entering a room and you don't say hello to someone. You don't give them a firm handshake and look them in the eyes. What that says is that you don't respect them. Right? It's that same theory. You open up a wholesale account, it's like you giving a handshake and looking someone in the eyes. You say hello, you're respectful, and that way there's a relationship that's established immediately. They don't forget about you. If you wait a week, 2 weeks to contact the distributor, you're on the back burner, bro. You're gone. You're done. That sales rep has long forgot about you, because when they open up a new wholesale account, I guarantee you that sales manager contacts a sales rep and say, hey, by the way, you just got a new customer on your book of business, right? And then they're like, oh, cool. Like, this customer should be a qualified customer. Look at these details. Looks pretty solid. 2 weeks goes by, a month goes by, nothing happens. No contact, no purchases. When you come back to ask for better pricing, are they going to give you better pricing? Fuck no. They're not going to give you better pricing. You haven't put any effort in. It's the small things that really matter. Like these small steps will make a difference for you to be able to crack your first 10K, if not more, and continue to scale that up. Now, when we're on the phone with their distributors and we get past that point with their sales rep of having that first initial conversation, which will be more tailored towards learning about who they are, what they do, and common interests, and building a friendship, you need to break the ice on that phone call about discounts. Okay. You cannot wait to ask for discounts. There's a lot of stigma around where people say, oh yeah, you should break, even on a few orders and then ask for a discount. Bullshit. You don't need to do that. What you need to do is just frame that question in a way that you're not coming off as needy. Everything in sales or any business is simply a transaction. Someone needs to win and you need to win. It's a mutual thing. If you're just winning and they're losing, that is not how a sale happens. There's no benefit there. So the way that we need to pursue this conversation is, hey, John, if we put together, a $5,000 to $10,000 purchase order, would you be able to give us a few points off on the purchase order? Is there any process that you guys have for discounts? Oh, well, traditionally, we don't really offer discounts on the first purchase order. I need to go to my boss and I need to request those discounts. And we like to get a few orders under the belt. But that being said, usually it's like a product by product basis that we'll give discounts on. Boom. So even though you got an answer that first purchase order isn't going to get you discounts, now you know that they do offer discounts and it's on a product by product basis. Maybe that response is like a Keepa response where they do a volume discount where they say, yeah, so our volume discounts usually range from 5 to 20%. And, for 20% customers, they need to spend $500,000 a month. If we're able to spend like around $20,000 a month, where do you think our discount percentage would realistically be? Oh, well, I think that, if you guys were spending around $20,000 a month, then maybe we can get you to, the 10 to 15%. But like now we're getting answers. You broke the ice. You're not waiting to break the ice. You started the conversation. You're speaking with confidence. You're not coming off as being pushy or anything. You're just asking questions, which is normal in the wholesale industry to ask for discounts. That is not unusual, just how you approach it. Now, another thing too on that phone call that you want to go over is going to be asking what is the best way to place purchase orders for you, meaning this sales rep. How do I make your life easier for my purchase orders? This is something that not enough people do, and it is small, but it is crucial, and it is so important, is it shows that you care about someone else. When you ask someone, hey, how can I make your life easier? Even if I need to do more stuff on my side, how do I make your life easier? Everything opens up, right? Because then they're like, damn, like this customer, they're thinking more than just about themselves. They're thinking about me. And that makes me feel good. So that's another way to start building a relationship. And then the last thing is asking if there's any trade shows that they attend. Guys, trade shows is literally the cheat code. If you're looking for a gold mine in the wholesale industry, go to a fucking trade show. I promise you, you'll find all the gold in the world and you won't know what to do. There's so much opportunity at trade shows. You're able to meet people in person, have a firm handshake, have great conversations, get quality leads, get better pricing. I mean, trade shows are a gold mine. And if you ask if they have any trade shows, it also shows that you're experienced and you're not scared to go outside your comfort zone, right? Trade shows can be a little bit intimidating, especially when we're Amazon sellers. So asking that type of question is a huge question to ask. And they're gonna be like, yeah, like, as a matter of fact, we have about 2 trade shows a year. Usually they're in February or August, and then now okay, well, let me put that on my calendar. You should hit up your sales rep about that trade show when that time comes. These 3 things are crucial steps to making this entire thing work. Here's the thing about that conversation that we were just going over. You're controlling the conversation without being pushy, right? You're asking the right questions. That's the way to think about it. You're establishing that you need or want discounts. You need to be okay with asking for discounts and not be scared. Okay. I don't care what anyone else says and saying, oh, you got to place a few purchase orders. Sure, that might work sometimes, but we're not here to just flip shit to flip shit. We're here to make money, and you can do it in a way without burning your cash. Now, here's the thing as well, is that a lot of sellers get their first catalogs and they start sourcing through and they think that the pricing that they have is the pricing that they're going to get. And because they're not asking these questions up top about getting the discounts. So what this leads to is frustration and momentum that gets killed because they start sourcing, they realize that stuff is low profit margins, and they're like, well, how are people making money online? Or, is it saturated? That I get into later. All these questions that they ask themselves, and all it does is it kills your momentum. You have this self-doubt that it's no longer possible and that is bullshit. Okay, there's so many people that are selling on Amazon that are living proof that the model is still very good and it's very lucrative, but it needs to be done a certain way. When you get that first pricing, it is going to be the worst pricing you're ever going to see. And I will also give you guys a real life example of literally what happened to me about 2 months ago. I opened up a wholesale account that I've been trying to open up for 6 years. I followed up for 6 fucking years, got denied 20, 30 times, and I finally opened up the wholesale account. But I opened the account and the pricing was terrible. It was 25% higher than my traditional pricing on these products that I'm buying. Meaning, like, I'm already selling these products. I have a new vendor, the vendor that I opened, that also carries those products. And I was cross-checking the pricing and I realized that my cost of goods from this new vendor are 25% higher. Most people will look at that account, they're just going to say, all right, well, there's nothing here, they're dog shit, and move on. What I did was I contacted my sales rep. I invited him to come by our warehouse. Whether you have a warehouse or you don't, you can meet up for coffee, dinner, etc., and invite them to meet you. Just say that you're looking to grow your business, your revenue with that company. You feel like there's a lot of opportunity and you're trying to see how we can make things work. Make it where there's a mutual benefit from both sides. Then they came and our pricing went from the worst pricing to having the best pricing. We broke through literally potentially years of building that relationship in a matter of a 15 to 20 minute conversation by explaining how we're going to build our relationship together and just being transparent that number one, the pricing is not good enough for us to be able to buy inventory. And number two, that we need discount, but we're confident in ourselves. And there's no reason why you guys can't be confident in what you guys are doing as well. Now let's go over how to tell if a supplier is good or bad. This is a huge part of the equation. And now we're going to start getting into like the making money side of things, right? The first things that we kind of covered in the video so far have been more geared towards objections, suppliers, relationships. That's the foundation, right? Positioning yourself to physically open up the wholesale account. Once you get the wholesale account, now it's game time. Now it's time where it's either you're going to capitalize on the opportunity or you're going to spin on the wheels. So this is the most important part of the video, is the next remaining part of the video. This is the sauce that will change your business. Okay, so the way to tell if your supplier is a good or bad supplier, as long as they're not negative before expenses and shipping costs, they are a good supplier. Okay, if they have a profit margin from 5% to 10% before expenses, like I said, before shipping or prep, they are a good supplier. You need discounts. You need to lower your production costs. That includes your prep costs and shipping. It is not your supplier's fault that it costs you $2 to get inventory into Amazon. That is a you problem. You need to figure that out as a business owner to bring down your internal costs to make your products more profitable. No matter what supplier you open up wholesale accounts with, you will not be able to sell profitable products online if your costs are that high. You're competing against businesses, they're able to drive down their costs. So that's the first thing, is that we need to analyze. We just open up a brand new wholesale account. Are their profit margins low, but not unprofitable before any expenses? If so, that means that they're a good supplier. If you upload their catalog to a software like Third-Party Profits and it tells you that the potential profits is greater than $100,000, you have a good supplier. If you're profitable before expenses, you have a good supplier, right? Those three things are green flags. You can turn that supplier from a 10% gross margin supplier into a 20% gross margin supplier and be able to net the 12, 15% on those items that you're looking to sell. If the supplier doesn't make sense after your expenses, like I said, that is a situation for you to decrease. It is not continuing to go and open up new supplier accounts. It is to go and figure out how to get your prep cost from $1.20 a unit to 50, or to go from your shipping costs from being 60 cents a pound to 30 cents a pound, right? Those are the things that you need to figure out as a business owner, because those are the things that are just going to bring down profitability. If you go and your supplier's pricing is negative before prep, meaning before any expenses, then that's how you know the supplier is bad. This is where a lot of people go wrong, is they overlook what a good supplier actually is or where the opportunity lies. So now let's jump into the actionable steps that you need to take in your business to make this a reality, to go and hit $10,000 in profit a month. So what you need to do is you need to build out a list of items at this margin range and then send a RFQ or a request for quote to your sales rep. We go back up here. We had that phone call with the sales rep. We mentioned that we are going to be asking for discounts. We made it known. And now we're going to show, we're not going to just tell the supplier that we need better pricing. That's where a lot of people fuck up, is that they'll start sourcing and then they're going to go through all the products and say, oh, well, nothing profitable here. So I can't buy from them. Or you go to the supplier and say, yeah, like the pricing's too high. Like we can't buy any products. You need to show them. You can't just tell them that it's not profitable. You need to show them what you're going to do with them as a relationship, right? Like you go to your supplier and you put a draft purchase order and you say, hey, these are our current prices. This is what we're asking for. This is what our purchase order would be at those ask prices. Boom, you're showing proof that you're willing to place a purchase order if it's at the right price, rather than you just saying, oh yeah, your pricing sucks, right? Like what does that do for anyone? There's no benefit in that. It's just a waste of time. So that's the thing that we need to do. We need to start sourcing products at a lower profit margin. Obviously, if it's greater than 10%, that's phenomenal. Build out a list and then create an RFQ, essentially a draft purchase order to then send to your suppliers. Now, what you also want to look for is going to be items on promotion. Now, this is going to work for any supplier, not just like a Keepa. Any supplier will have promotions. You need to be diving into promotions non-fucking stop, okay? Promotions are butter, bro. There's so much money in promotions and so many people sleep on them. This is essentially sales on items where the supplier's already giving you a discount, right? Like the brand has given the distributor a discount, the distributor is passing that discount down to you, and you're able to keep that margin. So if you can buy products on promotion that are profitable, that have a lifespan of when they're actually profitable, and then you incorporate some of these RFQ items into the mix, you'll make money on your first order. Plus, you're going to get access to more products, because I almost can guarantee, as long as you have a little bit of money, like $3,000 to $5,000 plus to spend on inventory, suppliers will be willing to work with you at least a little bit. And when you send that quote out, that supplier is going to send pricing back to you. Now, there's going to be certain products here where they're just going to say, we can't move on margin, right? This is the lowest margin that we can do. Is what you see is what it is. That supplier is just not a good supplier for that brand or that product. There's going to be some products that they're going to come back and say, okay, well, this is what we can do. So we can't get to your $3 in cost of goods, but we can do $3.20, and your previous cost was $3.60. And now you do the math on a software like third-party profits or within whatever tool that you're using to then see if that product is now profitable. And if it's not profitable, then now you move on from it. But essentially what you need to do, and what we're doing here, is we're creating an ecosystem of products, of quotes. The way to think about this is the only way to get better at basketball is to shoot more shots, right? If you're sitting in the game or you're running around in the game and you're not taking shots, you're not dribbling the ball, you're not passing to anyone, what are you there for, right? You're just like waiting for something to come to you. That's just not how anything works in life. You need to go out and fucking get it. So this is what you need to do to go out and get it. You need to create an ecosystem where you're throwing up shots to suppliers. And if you repeat this cycle over and over and over again, I promise you will hit $10,000 in profit faster than you ever expected, as long as you follow these steps. Let's break down what it actually takes to get to $10,000 in profit a month. You need 35 items that make $300 in profit per month to make 10 grand. Your goal is not to find these unicorn products that make thousands of dollars in profit a month. Do some of them exist? Absolutely. Yes, but they will come organically. What I like to consider good products is products that can make money every single month, right? If I can make $300 in profit every single month, if I find that product today and it's consistently profitable, I just made $3,600 on the year. I didn't make $300. I made $3,600, assuming I can restock that product every single month, which is the goal in wholesale. That is how you build a wholesale business. If you look at any successful seller on Amazon, they have hundreds of products in their storefront, or maybe even thousands. That is because this is the math, right? You look at products that make a few $100 in profit a month, and you build out a digital real estate portfolio on Amazon that's producing you cash flow every single month. Now, sellers that are selling 5, 10, 15 products in their store, that is a side hustle. That is not a business, okay? That is not a business on Amazon. That is not how you scale a wholesale business. The way you scale a wholesale business is by going wide, because when one product dies, you have another product that's continuing to sell. When you're selling 10 products in your store, all your eggs are in 10 baskets. You got to spread your risk, right? You're selling 35 products on Amazon. 5 products go down, you got 30 other items that are selling, that are making money. They're going to cover whatever that period of time that it's not selling. That will consistently produce you income, which is the number one one goal. And then just to break this down even further, so I want you guys to understand how achievable this actually is. Not only scale to $10,000 in profit a month, but to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50. You just got to look at the opportunity of the products that you have in your business. Every single catalog that you get access to, whether it's 5,000 products, 10,000 products, 20,000 products, 50,000 products, you need to find 35 items out of, let's say, 10,000 products to make 10 grand in profit a month, right? Like, we don't need to find these needle in the haystack products. You just need to open up as many wholesale accounts as possible, get as access to many products as possible, have as many conversations as possible, send out as many quotes as possible, and you will be able to find 35 products that make $300 in profit per day, or I'm sorry, per month, to hit your $10,000 in profit. So we went over a lot for the past 20 plus minutes. So now let's just go over a quick summary of the actionable steps you need to do. And please, if you haven't been taking notes, take out your notepad and literally just write this down. Please, I want you guys to be successful on Amazon. This is literally the exact blueprint that you need to follow. You need to get access to 10 to 20 plus catalogs, most likely 100,000 plus UPCs across every single supplier, because we need to find 35 items that make $300 in profit out of 100,000 products, right? That is a very, very small percentage of items that need to work. You need to establish relationships fast and control the driving seat, meaning that you need to call your suppliers immediately once you open up wholesale accounts, establish their relationship, establish that you're their friend and that you're trying to build something more than just a business relationship, and that you're also looking to ask for discounts, right? And not a pushy way, but just saying, is there any chance that you guys do offer discounts, and at what point? Break that ice. And then you need to go through the process of sourcing. You find suppliers that have anywhere between 5 to 10% gross margins before any expenses. You have a profitable supplier in your business. You need to figure out the delta between where your current pricing is and getting those discounts. If you're not profitable after getting those discounts, that is a scenario where your expenses are what is causing you to be unprofitable. It's not the vendor, right? It's not the supplier. It is your cost to physically get the products into Amazon's fulfillment centers that's killing your momentum to grow your business. Once we go through this process, we just need to get shots up. We need to send quotes. There's gonna be products that work. There's gonna be products that don't. The products that don't, you find other potential suppliers and you repeat this cycle. For the products that work, that now you get discounts on, now you're gonna do this every single week. You're gonna start building out a catalog and a portfolio on Amazon that's gonna produce you income in every single week, every single month. You're gonna be continuing to add more products into your storefront. I promise you, within 12 months, you will build a business that will be able to produce you over $100,000 in net profit a year. You literally just follow these steps. Follow these steps. You trust the process. You do this over and over and over again, regardless of how much work it takes. I promise you, you'll be successful in this business and you'll be able to drive tremendous results to your business. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And like I said, my name is Paul. I've been selling on Amazon for the past 6 years. I'm incredibly enthusiastic about this business because this business has changed my life and I want to change other people's lives. So if you guys are new here, please consider to subscribe to my channel, like, share, comment any video ideas that you guys might have. And I'll see you guys in the next video.